So welcome everyone to another Asia stream. Enjoy these weekly streams. It's good, especially as we're coming like towards the end of the month too now, and we've got some pretty good direction of what's been going on. Liking this weekly chart. If we turn on our days, so we started off. We had our Sunday low here, right? That created the low of the week. And then we've got our Monday manipulation. So we've used this Monday swing for our projection here. Put those lines on to get the high of the week. Coming in on a Wednesday. And our main sort of target for the week's at sort of 3.5 to 4.5 there, where we start to see those reversals. I got Maz King in here as well. How you doing, man? So we've come up on our 1 hour chart. So from our Monday, manipulation below true day open here. Get a break here. We can put that on as our zone 2. Which we've come through and swept there. We'll pop this on as our Monday manipulation. So push up to SD 1.5 for Monday. Little reaccumulation zone here. Manipulation again below true day open for Tuesday. SBS here as well. So we have that. We get our breakout leg. 1, 2. We sweep 1 for 3. And then we get our sweep of 2s for. And for the SBS targeting that high of 3, or we target that next standard deviation. So reaccumulation zone, expansion up to that next standard deviation level. And then we've gone straight up into a Wednesday high manipulation, hitting that SD 3.5. We then get our breakdown here. This creates our next zone. For our current high of the week. And then we're watching, we don't really want to see candle closes above 50% of that zone. So we can see we have those nice rejections here. You can also do an OTE pull of that whole swing. Right, so from the high here down to the low. And we'll just drag that across. So we've got our 7-9 suit. And then we'll come back up there for Thursday. 7-9. Manipulation above, true day open. Huge expansion down. It's big AM push. Not even a 9:30 swing back up or anything. Just death down to SD4. So interesting to see coming into Friday now. If we're going to get that Friday low of the week. Still a fair way to go to hit that Sunday low was our open. And so we've done our OTE swing here from this high down to this low, which is what we've come back into in the PM. 0.62 there, tagged 705. Nice swing failure pattern here, right? We come back up, we sweep that high and close back within that candle range. We can then target that candle low and use this rejection block or footprint here. Yeah, nice on the weekly there. Let's jump into the monthly and our H6. Any questions on the H1 and weekly here? For those that are new, this is what I use to map out the week, and then I go into the lower time frame from there. So we're using 1 hour projections to try and map out the high, which we can see comes into that 3 to 4.5 from that Monday swing, and then from the high swing down to the lows. Hey, Cloud Surfer. Alrighty, let's go into our H6 with our monthly. We'll change our PO3 here. Move that over a little bit. So we were on the H6 and we separate our monthly into our quarters. Ideally, we're looking for that low or hard we made in that first quarter if we want to get a bullish expansion month, or bearish expansion month. We want that high in that first quarter, but we are looking like we might get a monthly doji here at this stage. So we had our monthly low come here in quarter one. We had a sweep here. We come back out, we break. So this swing here became our January low until that low was taken. Which we had over here in quarter three. We then have this high. So once we swept all of these, had a high swing here, we could do our standard deviation pull from. So we had our break, we come back in, we can do another OTE swing from here. Same again, we come up to that 7.9, we got a 7.9 suit. So SD 1.5 into a redistribution, we hit 7.9, come down to the next level here, SD 2.5. And then put in that low swing. So we've got the high that made the low. Our breakout here for the current January low, and then same thing, push up to 1.5, go into a reaccumulation 2.5 and push straight back up to SD 4.5, possibly the high of the month here, and then we're just gonna fizzle out here at the end. What time are we landing? Hopefully we hit the ground in London so I can just call it a week and go and have a red wine and pizza. So yeah, very interesting monthly. So we got that. So once we got the Q1 sweep here, and then we come back up and coming back down. So possibly, where was our open? It was back here. Yeah, interesting if we get all the way back down to open and just finish here and get that doji, or we just sit around here all day. All right, we'll go a little bit higher in the time frame. We haven't done that for a couple of weeks, so let's just hide some of this. Put these in a group. So I'm going to do our 12 monthly. So we've got our, so far we just had a little small open low. And we're just sitting up. Keen to see how far we come back into this previous yearly candle. It's like when we look at the daily, right, and we're getting those bullish continuation days. So if we do our standard deviation pull, just need to reverse that. We'll pop on our 0.25. So for example, if this was, if we had this as like a Monday and a Tuesday, and we're looking for just a bullish expansion week, a Wednesday would normally just come down, tap that 2.5, and then push up. Yeah, I think we still come down, man. Barely any manipulation for sure. Which, you know, we could see in February. Get that, you know, Jan to March sort of pullback. Quarterly one pullback and then send. Pretty annoying if it just takes off from here and we just get that little wick. 6 monthly. We have this whole wick is also untested. And then we get 3 monthly. So then we have this whole swing here on the 3 monthly. We can grab that as a box. So from the high that then made the low. And we also have the BISI here on the 3 monthly. And so same OTE pull right from the low to the high. So 0.25 will get us into that BISI and back up. 0.5 will get us back to this bullish OB here. And we have that whole swing here, which we'd previously talked about, which price had come back into. And unable to close below. Come back into this order block. This was that last down close swing that caused the breakout. And we touch CE or midpoint of that into that expansion. So yeah, I would definitely like to see something, whether we do get another high sweep and then come back, hit this OB 0.5 or just this BISI into continuation for the rest of the year. What a candle. Yeah. All right, monthly. Quarterly lows. And then long your longs. It's such a nice reversal pattern on the monthly. Interesting to see if that becomes our main deviation for the year as well. .5 coming in around 3, 2, 4. So monthly breaker in here. So at the moment we're waiting to see as well if we are going to do bullish continuation. Once we get candle close above here, then we can use this swing here just to continue, order flow up there. And this would then become a protected low once we break above. We can talk about protected lows and highs shortly as well. I had Dolzy was asking me about them this week. Alrighty, we'll clear this. Keep working down to our weekly. So same thing with the weekly. We've been watching this swing. We're waiting for that break above. And then we can use this as a zone. And weekly we have this swing here. And then it was shortly a little bit smaller on the daily, which we were doing our main projections off on the daily. Had our SBS here on the weekly. With our breakout 1, 2, 3, we sweep 2, 4, 5. That's 3 will be here. So it's going to be interesting to see how this weekly closes. If this is just a raid, we close below and then come back down and take out these, or if we get that, start getting that push up to take 3. Trader Rackbar, did you end up getting your sound sorted? Can you hear me okay? Nice. So we have this swing here as well. So this was our manipulation here, high that made the low, main low swing here, and then that becomes a support resistance flip as we come back out, retest. Didn't even come into that or into the BISI here. Take off. So the main swing we're watching now is this one here. All right, we'll jump down to our daily. So daily, we have our main manipulation zone down here. Got our standard deviation, and we've been watching that SD 1.5, which we hit, and then it was expecting that to then go into a reaccumulation, which we can see we're getting at the moment. We're just getting this whole consolidation range. Yeah, they've been having heaps of sound issues lately. What makes it worse is that it's like some people can hear and some people can't. Intermittent. Worst type of problems. So yeah, quarterly pullback, we would love something just to come back down here, sweep all of this, and then start getting longs after March. Got our 200 SMA here as well. Down a bit lower. No retest of the daily breaker. Do you mean like this one? That's what I was waiting for mid-year. I wanted this to come back, hit that, and then go. Just took off. We didn't even get, so if we were looking at an SBS from this break here, we had our 1, 2, 3, and we didn't even come back down and sweep that 2. That was what I wanted as well. Mid-year. Sweep here. Send up. We've got this whole high swing here now on the daily too. which is interesting. So I've been watching 50% of this swing after we had that break. We're just coming above it now, so it's interesting consolidation range. See if we get back below that. Oh yeah, we break the top. And then we can do our deviation pull from this one on the daily. If we do break up. With this still being our main one here, right? And then we would align this standard deviation pull with the 2.5. Got your biggest Asia trade point. What on, Cryptic? It's such a nice short, man. Like, it's such a nice swing. Like OTE swing, got a beautiful, beautiful wick there on the 1 hour to work with. 1800 high of the day plausible. Looking for a Friday low of the week. It was a very nice short setup. Alrighty, let's jump into our chart setup. No worries, man. Thanks for tuning in. Nice to have you in here. All right, so we're going to start with our PDH, which we had come in at, was that Asia high? Put a few more things on my chart. Where are we? PDL. I'm going to drag this across to 1800. Put our zones in. We just had a big bounce here, 1825. Grabbing this whole swing here for a current low zone. We need to put our quarters on here as well. All right, and then we're going to break up our chart into our 3 hours with the vertical lines. We want to have our fixed range volume profile. So we're going from PDH, PDL. We've got our main point of control down here. NQ30K scares you. Been an interesting year, man. Just want to get that quarterly low first and then send. I'll let a few more mates in, okay? All right. So we want the PM high. We can see the PM high was swept here. That's our previous session high. Not PDH. Come on, Adrian. PM high. PM low. And OTE of that daily range. Which we can see we're in at the moment. Also got our 200 SMA here coming. So bearish while we're under that, right? And we'll sweep that previous session here. So interesting to see if we do break down or if we do get another swing high, take out that one. Give us a standard deviation pull from here to continue down to PDL, or we just finish the day roughly. Yeah, looking for a short continuation. I think we can do, we can step up and then look at PD arrays around that OTE area. So if we go into that 15 minute, we've got that CB here. Which is what we're rejecting off at the moment. And PM high. Don't really like that bounce back though. Liked that just to continue down. Doesn't like to make it easy. All right, so we've got our previous session on, we've got OTE, PDH, PDL, our main point of controls down here by PM low. Just put on C's and we'll just check our 12-hour median levels as well. So our 12-hour internal median is down here. And internal median, so being within the previous 12-hour candle. So 50% of the time we hit the median levels here. This one will be interesting. It is at that 7.9 as well. So if we do sort of just grind up into London, tag that, and then get our deviation pull from this manipulation swing here, and then hit the levels on the way down. Yeah. Get some good manipulations in Asia when they don't need much volume. We took that 1800 high. We're still within that 1800 to 1900 time. So there's the time window for the normal Asia high, sort of 18 to 1900, 1 hour. So now we've got a low and a high within that time. All right, so that's our chart set up for now. And then we'll wait for our Asia levels to come in and TDO as the day progresses. If we go back to the 1 hour, you can still watch this H1 wick here. Unable to get above 50% there. It's our H1 injection block. Nice reaction off there at the moment. Line in the sand there. We also have, if we're looking at the SBS here, from that main sort of breakdown, we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we've just swept 2. What is today's low of the week? I mean, normally we see those Fridays, but it could be. I mean, we expanded Mike down to the, we've hit the extensions both ways, you know. If we go back to that 1 hour chart and pop, so we hit our main expansion up here and our main expansion down here. So it could be the low of the week, and we could just consolidate then for the end of the week. Be interesting. And you know, we're end of the month as well. All right, so we've got that set up. We do have that SBS there. Let's jump into the lesson that we're talking about. So you wanted to go over the protected highs and lows. Maybe we'll use the daily review for that as well and go through. Look at this. This was that manipulation that we had in London. So Q3 manipulation in London. SD 4.5, tag that. It didn't even get a 930 bounce to create another clean zone. Just hammered down to that 1 hour zone. Brutal. All right, so if we get we'll move over here and create a clean chart. And I'll just use the arrows as an example. If we're looking at like a market maker model, right, and we're moving down. Once we create a new high here, and once this low goes, we're looking at, this is why we went over, for those that attended my last class, we were looking at those zones. And with the zone, we're creating a protected high each time the low that made it goes. Crazy to hear low of the week. Maybe. So each time we do this and they break, we can mark them out. This one is only locked in once that low goes. So if we come back up, why is that not working? If we come back up and don't take that low, then this is still our protected high until that gets taken. Once we take that low, then this one's locked in, and we can add a zone to it as well. And we just keep doing that down. So we break again. This becomes our next one. As soon as we break that low, then another one there. And then once we break, above this one, so that becomes protected once we do this. And we have our box on. And then we break that high, and then we start to shift. Once we break that high, we then have a protected low as soon as we get the candle closes above here. So we can have stop losses under there. Hey, Seno, how you doing, man? And then we keep working our way up, right? So we have low here, protected low, protected low. Then maybe we have a swing breakout sequence here now. So we have a break 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This becomes our protected low once we break that high. And we can keep stacking those zones up as we go. Maybe we get another one like that. Break the high. Get the protected low. Bodies. Always want bodies. Hey, Safa, how you doing, man? Yeah, so last week we just went over just doing these boxes and stacking them down and then back up the other way. And then this week, discussing the lows that are getting protected. And you normally see them as those nice V shapes, right? Creates those nice swings, and we can use them as the base levels until they get taken. Then we switch over and we start drawing boxes back the other way. Yeah, last week's class was recorded, yeah. That's on my YouTube, and I think I've put it in my main channel as well. So when we're putting it all together and we do our standard deviations from the very low zone, you know, we're looking for those next legs to come in at SD 1.5 is when we'll see our reaccumulation phase 1. You normally get that first SBS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sweep of the low, that's your raid. And you push up to that next deviation level. So you normally see this push up to SD 2.5. And then same thing again, we'll get another reaccumulation here and push up into that zone 3.5 to 4.5. Nice reaction again off that H1. H1 rejection block, footprint or wick, whatever you want to call it. Midpoint of that's holding at the moment. All right, so we jump into the day. So we had our open at 1800. So 1800 to 1900 is our window for a high of the day for Asia. If we mark that out here. This makes it a little bit tricky here because we have that swing here. So this, once we broke that high, this becomes, once we break the high of the swing here, right? We can mark that as a protected low until it's not, until it gets taken, which was over here. So we can use the swings within the swing. And we get our high. So still being aware that this low is protected. We break. And then we can just start drawing those boxes down and we can start drawing lines on these. So we break the low, so then this is now protected. We come down, we have this high. Once we break this low, the candle close here, this high is now protected. This is our next swing up here, our low here. So this is protected. And then we come back, we get our 8:30 Judas swing here, or our 3-hour pivot. We come back up, we take this high here, so body close above. We can then lock in that low. What was the low? It was here. And that's when we add the, we're going to add that standard deviation pull and that on as our Asia zone. We break up, retest the zone. We had our standard deviation pull from here as well, right? So each swing, we hit 1.5, we go into that reaccumulation, push down to SD 2.5, reaccumulation, down to 3, and then we had our reversal at 3. So then we break that high, we come back up, we have this low here, we break this high. So we have protected low here. And we can keep stepping them up as we keep going. Break the high, get our protected low. Break the high, come back, break the high, get our protected low. I'm going to that Asia zone in here. And this was where we had, where the distribution was forming. We get our breakdown here. Locks in the high. Once that low is broken, get our next high here. Once this low is broken, this becomes our protected high. We get the candle close below. Come back up, break that here. This is now our protected high. Come back up here, break the low, body close. Protected high. New York AM death, straight down. Can do the same for this one. And then we come back and we take that, lock the low in. We take this high here, locks in the low. Get our break here. This was the swing that caused the break, locks in the low. We didn't get body closes above this one. So if we do come up and start getting closes up here, we can then lock in this low. Would you say that protected higher lows have bigger influence on price depending on the time frame they are in? So protecting high of 5 minute is weaker against, yeah, definitely. So higher time frame is always king, man. So if we get like another chart and we go a bit higher, maybe we can look at the 1 hour delete what's on here. $15 minutes is a great time frame. Very clean. I always like to work with the 15 and 5. So on the 1 hour, if we break that, then this is our current, this will become our protected high. Unless we do swing up, make another high, and then break this, or if we come back up and take these highs, then we work with the lows. Put an OTE on here. Just playing with that wick CE, wick midpoint, and that's 7.9. There's an SBS in here as well. It's a bit messy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that larger one that we can see. All right, how do we go? Any questions? Am I in my suit? Yeah, my tux. Yep. And it's black. Correct. Up or down? Still leaning bearish, Seno. Well, we're at our OTE. We're below that 200 SMA. I want to see if we get, hopefully we get like another break below here. That will then lock in this low, this high. Since we came back and we swept that 1800 high. You know, clean downswing as well. So it is possible that we come back up and then we flip this into a London short later. Lock your low, yeah. Nice work, Cozy. If we are holding a short based on a London session, bearish, change of state delivery, and a bullish one appears right before MYAM, does that invalidate the short and call for a directional shift to the long side? So normally, a bullish just appears. So this is where yeah, this is before yesterday's death. The one down there, I see what you mean. Coming into 9 o'clock there. So this is where you get the two fractals, right? So you get a, like looking at your picture, we hit the SD 1.5, And if we want bearish continuation, we're expecting a reaccumulation fractal. And that's when you normally see that SBS come in. And the SBS looks like a bullish change in state of delivery. So if we draw that on, give me some blank space. So it's why I like to talk about this a bit, right? Because a bullish change in state of delivery in a bearish trend tends to be a failed 2022 model, and it will be a SBS reaccumulation. So if we put on our standard deviations, right, and we got our main high manipulation swing here. So this is what happened in London. We get a break, swing breakout sequence, So it's basically a reaccumulation fractal that we're using, and we're counting the swings. So we get our breakout out of London, which took forever yesterday. So we get a retest of that zone. We come back, and we're coming into the New York AM now. We tag SD 1.5, and then we come back up. I should have done the count for this as we went. So we've got this breakdown here, right from here. We've got 1, 2, and then we come back up and we sweep that 2. And this puts in our, what looks like a bullish change in state of delivery, bullish model here. And then we continue down and take that and go down to SD 2.5. So we have our break of this low. We have 1, 2, 3, and then we're looking for that sweep of 2, 4, and then either a lower high or a higher high for 5. I should have done another swing point in that drawing. And we get that sweep of 2, and that will also be that OTE swing from here to here. How dare you say more down? Shame. Does that make sense, Cypher? So then, everyone that's like, it's a 9 o'clock low into the AM, drawing a zone on here, you do a standard deviation pull from there. We come back up, we can't even hit 1.5, and then we expand back down. It's just that OTE swing, we sweep 2. And a lot of the time, that sweep of 2 is just coming back to mitigate this up close swing here that broke this structure. This is why I like drawing on those zones over the top of each other, because you see price will come back, mitigate longs here that we use to create the short. The price comes back into that, and we get the expansion down. And that's why I always mention that 709. That lines up normally nicely with 50% of these. You get that 7-9 soup, and then you get the quick expansion down for 6, taking 3 there. This is where we normally, I normally put that. Hang on, let me find it. This one here in the chat. That's how I feel about putting all of this together. So then the correct manipulation in New York, when you see these in a bearish trend, this is your quarter 3 manipulation. And we can do another standard deviation pull from that once that low goes. So everyone's trying to use this one here, and then they get wrecked. And then this is how we use the session standard deviations within a high time frame session deviation, or a high of the day deviation. Which for today, what we just had was really that we're in that main 1 hour deviation levels for the week. So then we had our London manipulation here, New York AM, and we smashed that 4.5 and kept going down to the 1 hour ones that we were looking at. If we go back to that 1 hour chart for our weekly setup, this Wednesday high was our main zone that we're working with. And we just came straight down to that SD4. Whereas on the 5-minute time frame, we're watching that London one here, which just ripped through that 4.5. This was the London swing. Straight down. Small bounce back at 9:30 and continued down to the higher time frame one. We had this one up here. This was from this was the 5-minute one on Wednesday as well, which gave us that low that we had. There she goes. 200 SMA, H1 wick. $7.9 suit. Got our main POC down here. This is pretty thin. If we can get past this high volume node in here, it'd be a nice drop straight through here down to that POC. We can grab this. So this swing here, that was the high. I need to change the color of this border. It keeps getting too similar to the other wicks. Make that darker. There we go. So we can use this swing here for the moment. So that was from the PM. Now that we've got that break below, we can draw that on as a zone as well to watch. And we can do a standard deviation pull from that one. Send to back. There we go. So we've got that sort of Q4 manipulation coming in at the end of the day there. So while that high here holds, we can work with these levels. Sorry, Casey. I'm at 1.5 lining up with that POC as well. It's pretty nice. Plus the PM low. At 1900 now. As the new hours form too, we can watch those first 15 minutes of the hour, and the first 5-minute we can draw in a box. Ideally that holds as the wick of that hour. One more thing, how do we take entry before the change state delivery? Been seeing mine, yeah. And SL gets here saying you're in profits. Yeah, so that's something I want to teach in February. So it's a strategy I've been working on, which I've learned from the daily profiler to protect the position. So normally I would enter a position with low size from the zone, and I wait for that change day delivery or the break of the zone. We wait for the break of the zone. We wait for the OTE swing for it to come back in, and then continue down. I would enter with 1 to 2 micros, depending how big the zone is, just to get the correct risk. So lately, with the last quarter of last year, I did the boot camp that the Daily Profiler do, and learnt some more advanced techniques for entries and how to protect the position. So that's why lately you've seen some of my trades. You see, I have an entry before the change state delivery, and I'll have a take profit at a small amount. It's normally 5 basis points. I'll take profit, which then covers my whole position. And if the stop loss gets hit, I still make money. I make cash flow, which is something that we can look at talking about at a later time. So it's something that I've just been testing and working with after doing some additional study. A lot of those earlier entries are, worked out around the openings of each hour, and I'm trying to get in on the wick creation of the hour. Yeah, no worries, man. Main thing is to just stick to the main mentorship, stick to those zones that we've done. Looking for the break of the zones. Don't have to go large in size. And you have those clear invalidations, right? So at the moment, this high is our invalidation for the shorts. Don't need big size. And just write it down to SD 1.5, 2.5, unless we're wrong. All right, any other questions? Got a few more minutes and I'll have to get off, and then Big will be jumping on for his Asia stream. No worries, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the questions. I hope that helps everyone understand those protected highs and lows, and then stacks on the top of last week's class with the zone boxes. Cheers, guys. It's going to be an interesting day. Looking forward to mapping it all out and reviewing it all tomorrow morning as well.